I want to participate in this journey. And that's one of the things that I've benefited most about being a mentor in Diamond Club. It's helped me be a better mentor. It's helped me with my kids. It's helped me with my wife. It's helped me with the relationships in my life because I want to get into those details and I want to be able to help somebody in a significant way. And, I feel like I'm a better person because of it.
What's up, doTERRA fam? Guess what? We just had an awesome conversation with one of our founding distributors, Eric Larsen. We dove deep into the good old days and had a heart-to-heart about why mentorship is key in your business. Eric shared his secret to Diamond Club mentorship, the mentor guide, and how becoming Diamond Club mentor has elevated business and changed his life. Trust me, this is life-changing stuff. You won't want to miss it. What's up, doTERRA family? Welcome back to the Empowered Success. We have a very special treat today. We have Eric Larsen, and I almost want to say the Eric Larsen.
Well, thank you, my brother. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
I'm jealous that I haven't been on before. You've had so many great guests. There have been so much wonderful information, and I'm honored that you'd asked me to come and join.
It was in due time, and for those who don't know Eric, and Eric's very humble, so I'll boast about him. I'll brag about him. Him and Justin Harrison are the master distributors for doTERRA, and so they've been around from the jump, from the start, right out the gates of when doTERRA first started. And he comes with a ton of unique experience. But one thing I love about Eric is his willingness to connect with everyone and anyone. And that's just a testament to who you are and the type of person you are. But I'm excited for this podcast.
I'm excited too, and I appreciate you inviting me. And I think you and I are cut from the same cloth. I think we love the people in the doTERRA field. We care about them. We know them. We want to remember their names. So it's a pleasure to be in doTERRA.
Yeah.
I've loved every moment of it. For me, it's been great.
It's great, and we do love to connect.
Yeah.
I guess my first question for you is how do you remember everybody and their names? Because it's hard, man, right?
Yeah, it is hard. The funny thing is I'll get people that will ask me and says, I'll say something like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." And they're like, "We've met 6 times before." We met at leadership. We've taken pictures. I was over at Elisa's with you.
Yeah.
But I try to play a mind game. For example, Kenra up in the corporate office.
Yes.
You know who Kenra is.
Yes.
So I had to remember her by singing that Ken song from Barbie.
Okay.
So that's how I do. I try to play a game if I need to remember somebody's name.
Nice.
And Kenra got after me a few times, like, "Eric, we meet at every event. Why can't you remember my name?" So
it is okay.
So I just play a funny game where I try to connect their name with something that I'll remember.
Okay.
And I'll never forget Kenra because of Ken.
Ken, right?
Yeah.
I need to try that.
So that's what I do.
I think that's good. That's better than trying to act like you know them or you remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always like, "Oh yeah."
And people in the field are gracious too. They really are.
They are.
Just like you. You meet a lot of people every day, and the field I think is understanding.
They really are
of the numbers that are out there.
But
how blessed are we that we get the opportunity to get to meet people at that type of level?
Exactly.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, it is.
I know you feel the same way that I do about it, but it's just, my life's better because of all those wonderful people in my life.
Amen. See, this is the type of stuff Eric is awesome. He's, like we mentioned, he's one of the master distributors. But again, you wouldn't tell that from the way he treats you, the way I see you treat others, and the way you connect with them. I remember, this is just off the cuff, I'll share this story. It was my first event, one of my first events. I traveled out to, I think it was San Bernardino. I can't remember where. It was a post-convention tour.
No, it was somewhere in Northern California.
Riverside.
Yeah. It was Riverside.
Yeah.
It was after you got robbed.
Yes. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's another podcast right there.
Long story short, my car got robbed. I ended up
You lost your computer.
Everything. I showed up on stage and I had just the clothes that I flew on the airplane with. But I remember reaching out to Eric last minute and I'm like, I don't really know too much about the product. I'm going to be honest with you. There's 700 people waiting in this conference room. I'm not going to get up there and lie to them like I know what I'm doing. Do you mind taking this 30, 40 slides and doing it? And I remember Eric just going, "Absolutely." And I was like, "I appreciate you." And I'll never forget that because that really helped me a ton. And it wasn't so much that, correct me if I'm wrong, that you knew a ton about the product, but you spoke about what you could speak about.
Yeah.
And you were just honest.
And I think that goes for all of us, here at doTERRA. New distributors get started, and I think that they're scared at times to be able to jump into the products or have a discussion about the products because they don't want to look stupid. But really the way that I do it, and I know you do it the same way, is I use the products and I just talk about my experience with it. I've been fortunate enough to be around long enough to use all of the products. So I have some experience, and I help with new people when they get started. They feel confident enough to be able to kind of jump into the darkness, and you'll figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
It'll come to you at some point. Now you can talk about almost any topic at doTERRA, but day one, it's like, hey, let's kind of work our way into that.
Yeah.
And I felt comfortable because I'd used the products.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be ready at a moment's notice. And you're the same way now.
Yeah. I mean, and a big part of that too, kind of what I alluded to before, was just speaking about what you can speak about.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a new product that popped up, and I was like, oh, this is a brand new convention. How was Eric going to talk about this? and I remember you talked about the sourcing side.
Yeah.
And I go, that is smart. Speak about what you can.
Spoke about what I knew.
And don't try to speak about anything else, because people will read right through you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've done that before, and it's been, what am I doing? How? I just look like a chump.
Yeah.
And you learn by the dumb things you do too. So I've done plenty of those too. I've learned by what not to do.
Hey, however you learn it, man, there's never.
At least you learned it.
Exactly. And there's never it's never a failure, right?
That's right.
It's experience, and you get better for that.
Yeah.
Now, Eric, the topic that we wanted to talk about today was Diamond Club.
Yep.
And specifically with mentoring.
Yeah.
And Diamond Club, and I'll never forget Justin Harrison. He was like, Diamond Club's almost like trickery, right? It's a program that doTERRA does, and it's almost like, hey, if you guys do this, doTERRA's gonna, give you this. In addition to everything else, this is outside of the compensation plan.
Yeah.
And so it's a beautiful program that we've had for years, that not too many companies within the industry can say they have.
At the other place where we worked before, we didn't have anything like that.
No.
It was all, it was all their own initiative that they would put into place. And the thing I like most about Diamond Club is that anybody that's had success at doTERRA has had some type of push or continued pushes in their doTERRA life.
Yeah.
And I think that this is important for new people when they get started, is to have that push where they can go out, introduce doTERRA, go through the grind early on, and create that momentum in their team and their organization. And that's what I like about Diamond Club, is that it sets a pattern for continued growth. You can't sprint forever, but Diamond Club's a sprint. And you'll see that in your career, you'll have a number of opportunities to do that over again, whether it's with Diamond Club formally or in other things that you've got going on. But those that are the most successful with doTERRA have had consistent moments of sprinting in their career. And I think it's nice for those new people to go out there, to have a purpose, to have a program, and to have mentors that are there to be able to help and push and guide and help you along the way, take those steps that they can take to be successful.
Yeah, 100%. And I love that, because there's ebbs and flows in the business, and this is a business just like every other business. Yep. But if you can plan ahead and know when it's the time to sprint, or when you're going to sprint, you're more likely to sprint.
Yeah, you think about those early winners in Diamond Club, like the Molly Daytons of the world,
yes.
or the Larsen and Brian Huddleston, or Jim and Tammy Stevens. They had that sprint early on in their doTERRA career, and I think that the momentum that they created then has translated over the next 13, 14 years to help them to grow and build and have success.
Right.
It set a nice pattern for them.
Amen. The patterns, the habits that you develop from Diamond Club definitely have an impact all throughout your career. Now,
and the thing is, when you go to Diamond Club, you can be prepared for anything. There's nothing that's going to happen that you haven't already seen or done with Diamond Club. The light here could fall on the ground, and it would be no problem at all. You're going to make your way through any presentation, deal with any question, any answer, and you're hardened into steel after going through the crucible of Diamond Club.
And Eric, in your experience, what would you say helps people kind of push through those unexpected things that happen during Diamond Club? As a mentor, what would you say? Sorry, those are two questions. So what would you say helps an actual participant push through those unexpected moments? And you as a mentor, how do you help them prepare for those
Yeah,
unexpected moments?
good question. I would probably answer the first question with the way that you phrased the second. I think you need to have a good mentor. I think you need to have somebody that's there that can be able to help you with those issues as they pop up. You might need some motivation therapy along the way too with Diamond Club. So it's always good to have a mentor that's there. And for me, the thing that I like most about being a mentor is that you get to help somebody. You get to help them on their journey. You're involved in the details with them. They'll ask questions along the way of how do I start a presentation, or how do I, at the end of a presentation, what do I do? How do I transition from products to business? And those are all things that you learn at Diamond Club, and that a mentor like me or you or any of the others, the thousands that are out there that are mentoring people in Diamond Club, will have experience with. We've been there, we've done that, we've seen it, and we're there just kind of as a guide to be able to help them along the way.
Yeah.
So for me, I think if you've got a good mentor, somebody that's there, and somebody that wants to jump in the details with you, and be there along in that journey, is the best thing you could have. One other thing that I like, Sai, have you seen that mentor guide that doTERRA developed here?
It's a hidden gem. I don't think
Turn off our webinar right now if you're a mentor. Turn this off and go to that guide, because that is just like you say, a hidden gem. It is a great piece of material, and I wish I had my fingerprints all over that. I don't think I could mentor that way without the mentor guide. The mentor guide has given me ideas and suggestions. And if you're a mentor that's a little bit nervous about what to do, or you haven't had experience mentoring people in Diamond Club, go to that guide, use that as a guide, because it will open up people and they will share with you all sorts of details and fears and concerns that you need to watch out for on their Diamond Club journey.
Yeah.
So I love the guide. I love what those folks do over there, and all the training and education that's available here at doTERRA.
Yeah. Thank you for calling that out. Again, I mean, that's a beautiful resource that was developed by people like you who have mentored, and they're mentoring the mentors. And
I'm telling you what, the people that wrote that they're excellent mentors. They got great suggestions, great ideas, and I've been around for a while. I've got the gray hair to prove it. And I learned every time I go to that mentor guide, I could do this a little bit better. I can connect with someone in a little bit more effective way by following this technique.
Okay, so Diamond Club, we know it's a sprint.
Yeah,
it's a marathon type of sprint.
It's tough. It's tough on those that participate. But if you're a mentor along the way too, it's going to be tough on the mentor too. The mentor is going to be with you on that journey. And I've found that those that I've mentored during Diamond Club, that if I'm with them, I'm pretty tired at the end of Diamond Club too. I'm sprinting too, because I want to be there with them. I want to participate in this journey, and that's one of the things that I've benefited most about being a mentor in Diamond Club. It's helped me be a better mentor. It's helped me with my kids. It's helped me with my wife. It's helped me with the relationships in my life, because I want to get into those details, and I want to be able to help somebody in a significant way. And, I feel like I'm a better person because I'm more empathetic. I'm more willing to listen. I'm better at connecting. And empathy, my wife is like,
You're empathetic?
Like, you needed to take a test to know that empathy is your 23rd or 38th strength or whatever number it is.
Yeah.
It's like, you needed a test for that?
Yeah.
I can't, that's your last quality. And I have to remind her, hey, listen, it may be 34, but it's still a strength.
It's still a strength. Exactly.
But that's what mentoring has done for me. It's given me the opportunity to develop some skills and improve on some things that I'm not very good at.
Yeah.
So,
man, you keep talking like that, Eric, you're going to have everybody and their dogs asking for you to be their mentor.
Hey, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in with them. It helps me out. I need to improve. So I only get improved by the reps. We're sports guys.
Yeah. Yep.
And you need to put the reps in. You got to shoot basket after basket after basket to be able to have the confidence to shoot it when it really matters.
Yeah.
And being a mentor is kind of the same way. You put in the time, you put in the energy, you put in the effort, and you'll see the results.
Yeah.
And really the results are the person in Diamond Club that's succeeding. And I wouldn't attribute it to me, but it's always nice to have somebody that's got your back. It's always
100%.
nice to have somebody that's going to cheer you on or have those hard conversations when it matters.
You are just preaching right now, 100%. And you're right. It is about getting the reps, because the more reps you have, the better equipped you are, for the future. Now, question for you about mentors who maybe haven't taken as much reps as, others. What would you say to them to get them going and to really put themselves out there and take that leap of faith?
Yeah, great question. I think if you're a mentor that's out there and you're uncertain about what to do, just go to that mentor guide. I mean, I can't think of a better resource that's out there that anybody could use. It gives you details, it gives you questions. There's more than you can use in there. So, go in there and find something that works for you, that fits with your personality and your style, and just put in the effort.
Yeah.
I think that, whether you're a mom with kids or whether you're a busy executive that's doing this as a side hustle, however you're doing doTERRA, the opportunity's there for you to be able to touch somebody and help somebody out. And I think that the mentor guide is a great resource to be able to help.
Good point. Yeah. Again, check out the mentor guide. I believe our leadership programs team also has calls as well with the mentors.
Yeah.
Where you have a great, and that's a whole nother
resource. That's a great resource to have, to be able to talk to those other people, those other mentors, to collaborate with them. That's off the chart.
Right.
So
you're swimming together.
You're swimming together, and a lot of them are all figuring it out together.
Right.
And I love being on those calls because I'll hear somebody say something. It's like, oh, why didn't I ever think of that?
Yeah.
So that's fun for me.
And so shout out to that team, leadership programs team.
They do a good job.
Great job. Yeah. They have project managers who are obviously helping the participants.
They're amazing.
But also the mentors. Like, jump on these mentoring calls. You have the mentoring guide. We want you mentors to be successful.
That's right.
That's our number one goal. And, whether it's your participant graduating in the top of the top or just graduating, success is determined by you.
That's right.
Ultimately.
That's right. You said I was preaching. I think you're preaching.
I mean, I feel like that vibe, that energy. I'm feeding off of you,
hey,
man.
Our former CEO, Corey Lindley.
Yeah.
Is a friend from way back.
Yeah.
He and I used to work on the international side over at another company. Okay. Same one we worked at.
Yeah.
And he's probably the best mentor that I've ever had in my life. For me, we lived in Hong Kong together, and I was on the sales side, and Corey was on the, I'm running the entire company side.
Yeah.
And I remember Corey pulled me off the side one day, and I was doing all right with the company. I was advancing quickly, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm going to say something hard to you. But you need to get the finance and running the company stuff under your belt, because if you don't, it's gonna be a problem with your career. You're not going to advance in your career. You're not going to accomplish the things that you need. And I remember it hurt my feelings. Yeah. And I wasn't expecting him to say. I wasn't prepped for his message. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to be friends anymore. We're not friends anymore. And I sat there and thought about it for a second, and it probably took me about 45 minutes. And it's like, you know what? He makes a heck of a lot of sense. And I remember from that moment on pouring my efforts into being a more well-rounded executive. I know this is on a corporate side.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have somebody in your life that loves you enough and cares for you enough to be able to have those hard conversations with you. And everything in my life changed with that conversation with Corey. I was a 26-year-old executive living in Hong Kong, and both of our careers were, they were moving in the right direction. Yeah. They were going fast. And this was the one thing that just kind of cemented who I wanted to be in my life. It challenged me to be better. And it's nice to have that. Yeah. And thank goodness for those mentors that are on those calls, that have been there, have done that are having those hard conversations when needed, or doing the emotional rehab when, when somebody wants to quit. Yeah. And, too diamond club's too hard. Yeah. It's nice to have somebody that can step in there and has a full toolbox of abilities to be able to help people in an important way.
I love that. That's a great, one thing.
Every day I think about Corey and him having that conversation with me.
Wow.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about that moment where I could have made a decision to say, I'm going to just kind like take a different path.
So, I mean, all those years ago, not all those years.
It was all those years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
26. But, I mean, it still has a lasting impact on you.
Changed my life.
2024.
Changed my life. I will forever be grateful to Corey.
I love that. So our mentors who are watching, this is the type of impact that you can have with someone, something so small that doesn't seem like nothing to you can mean the world to somebody else.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're sharing your experience, you're connecting with somebody. You love someone enough to be able to be involved and engage with them.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a better or more important thing that you can do than be a mentor. You know, when I was at the other company, when I was running the other company, I'd see my employees leave the office. And I would wonder, hey, did he have a good day today? What's he going to be like at home tonight? I wonder what he's going to say about his day over at this company and the projects that we worked on. Was he edified in any way? And for me, I worried about that. And I think that that's the ability that we have is, you know, when John walked out of the office that day, he was going to influence a whole bunch of other people because of his interactions with me. And I hope those interactions with me were positive enough and edifying enough that he could say, hey, I'm working on great projects. I've got great things going on. We're going places. And I think that that's the ability, the true ability that a mentor has with someone is to be able to help that individual who's then going to help other people along the way and see that ripple effect through the generation.
Yeah.
And Corey's one of those people that has done it with me.
Amen. I was just reading a book, The 7 Habits.
Good book.
I love that book. I reread that book every single year. Yeah. But anyways,
I've got one. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I've got one that is Clayton Christensen and How Will You Measure Your Life? I read that every year. So.
Okay. How would you measure your life? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to mark that down.
Yeah. And I'm going to read 7 Habits too. So
it's such a good book. But
so what do you like about it?
One of the quotes that reminded me, one of the things that you said reminded me of a quote that Stephen Covey says. He says, leadership is being able to communicate to another person their potential even when they can't see it themselves.
How about that?
And so you talking about just that, you know, experience that you had, that example that you shared about, that's true. Like as a mentor, and that fits right into what we do as mentors. You're leaders, but you have to be able to communicate and let them see for themselves that they can do it, that you and me are not different.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So
I'm going to read that book again. Good. Thanks for the recommendation. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's been a while. It's been a moment for me, so I need to read it.
It's a good one. And I guess we talked about just the mentorship within doTERRA. Is there anybody else that's kind of mentored you even outside of work life, and you know how that has impacted your life?
Yeah, you know, I think about what the influence of my wife. You know, you look at family around you. You know, you get family members that are around, and my wife has been such a kind and gentle person. She'll laugh at my dumb jokes. She'll encourage me. She'll correct me along the way. So it's nice to have somebody in your life constantly, daily, that's that way. You know who else helped me in my career is I'd be remiss not to mention the guys at Walmart. I used to sell retail.
Okay.
And Walmart was my biggest customer back in the day when I was young. You know, my hair was red and not gray. and Walmart, I remember going to Walmart and we had these guys that were like 6'8" that put their arms around us and we're going to teach you boys how to do this. And they helped us out everywhere along the way. And those guys taught me how to be a pro. They said, hey, listen, you're going to serve customers, you're going to serve clients, and everything that you're going to do needs to be 100%. So don't do anything 80%. Don't do anything 90 or 99%. Go 100%. That was their statement to me. Just go for it. Make sure everything is professional, that it's right, that it's poised, that it looks good, that it has that right feel, so that our customers and consumers that come in here will love you because we have you on our shelves. And for me, it was like, you know, and the way that I've taken that is the way I do anything is the way I do everything.
Let's go.
So when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to bring it to, you know, try to be my best version of myself at all times. Now, it doesn't happen every day. It's hard to be that way, hard to be on all the time.
Yeah.
But for me, those little moments of mentorship, whether it's from Corey or my wife or from the guys at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know, it just helped me to be a pro and realize that, hey, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to put my best effort into it. I'm going to do everything with excellence, whether it's serving at church or going out and digging a ditch in the backyard with my community. I'm just going to bring my best effort.
Well, thank you, because doTERRA is better.
I'm going to try at least.
Hey, well, I know for sure that doTERRA is better because of you and because of your effort. So thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I mean it, Eric.
But you're the same way, though. I mean,
we try, man.
Yeah.
We try. Yeah.
And that's all we can do is just try.
Amen.
Try to do our best.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up with a little rapid fire. I got 3 questions for
Okay.
you.
All right.
Okay.
So I need to be short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
That's hard for me.
You're on an island. You can only take one product with you. What is that product?
I'm taking vanilla.
Vanilla.
Vanilla is my favorite. I tell you what, I like how it smells.
Okay. Then guess what? That island's going to be Madagascar because you'll have every.
Okay, if I'm going to Madagascar, I'm taking MetaPower with me.
Okay. I see what you did. All right. Worst advice given to you?
Worst advice is, I'll tell you what, I did get some bad advice once where they would say, what you're going to do is you're going to go out, it's in college. And I had a mentor that was, teaching us as I was graduating. It's like, go out and make all your money now. And that the rest of your life, just pour yourself into your career. And at the end of your life, you can then make it up with family and kids and wife and all of that. And it's like, if you don't pour energy into those things that are most important now, they're going to find it somewhere else. And I can't think of worse advice that I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Those guys that have done that, I worked for a bunch of investment bankers.
Yeah.
Any of those investment bankers, all of them, if you know those investment bankers, they're pouring all their heart and soul into making money. And they're doing a good job at making money. But I think they've got their ladder on the wrong wall.
Oh.
They neglect their family. They neglect all of those things in their life that are important. And you just can't – you miss those times.
Yeah.
You miss those times with your kids. And I feel like I did some of that at the early part of my career, and I'm not going to miss it with my grandkids. My granddaughter thinks I'm a professional football coach, that I'm put on this earth to be able to teach her how to play soccer.
Yes.
And I don't want her to ever know that I don't want to teach her soccer, that I'm there for every game, every event. I am there.
Yes.
So the good advice turned into something good for me, or the bad advice turned into something good for me, because now I'm like, hey, listen, I'm going to pour my energy into those things that matter.
Yeah. Okay.
And certainly one of the things that matters here is my responsibility to the field.
Yeah.
We carry that responsibility where we need to help and train and educate and work with and support and be there to help them.
Yep.
So, and I know you and I share that trait in common.
Well, thank you.
And that wasn't a rapid fire answer. So sorry
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, how about this? If you could sum up what the doTERRA culture means to you in one word, what would it be?
I'm going to give you 2. Love, connection. And for me, it's about just loving on people, caring people, being aware enough and connecting good enough to be able to help them with whatever need they have, whether it's mental or physical or financial. I want to be there to help.
Yeah.
And we have the tools to be able to do that.
Yes, we do.
That's a little bit more concise. So.
Hey, no, I loved it.
More rapid fire.
That's a tough question to limit to just one word.
Yeah.
But Eric, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my
really
brother.
Appreciate you.
It's great to be with you.
I know our viewers are going to love every single bit of this video, and they'll be able to tune into more Empowered Success podcasts on our channel. But thank you again.
Thank you, my
Eric.
brother. It's great to be with you. I appreciate
always
you.
Good.
Always
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Also, check out past episodes by searching Empowered Success on Apple, YouTube, or Spotify. Don't forget to share an episode with someone who needs it. If you want more tools to make it easier to build your business, go to the Empowered Success webpage on doTERRA.com. And as a reminder, results are not typical. Average earnings are less. See doTERRA Opportunity and Earning Disclosure Summary on doTERRA.com.